Hello and welcome back to the Pitwall Podcast, where this week we're going to be previewing and predicting the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yep, I'm very excited for this race. I love the Canadian Grand Prix. This is going to be the 59th Canadian Grand Prix. It's been on the calendar for a long time. There's some notable wins on this track. Lewis has won this 7 times. Michael Schumacher has won it 7 times. And Ferrari have a total of 14 wins around this track.
Dang.
So, and with their current form, maybe some more, potentially. The circuit is 4.361 kilometers or 2.709 miles for us Americans. It is 70 laps long. And yeah, it's circuit Jacques Villeneuve, one of my favorite. Jacques Villeneuve. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. They had kind of a crazy race last year with some difficult practice situations. Aston bringing upgrades that kind of worked, kind of didn't. So, and it always kind of brings, it's like a true F1 track. Like, it's kind of hard to explain it any other better than that. And also, I just want to say before we get into our predictions, it's in a weird place in the calendar, I feel like, because we were in Miami and then we go to Italy and Monaco and you're like, all right, cool. So the European leg has started. And then back to Canada and then back to Brazil. Spain. Barcelona. I don't know why I said Brazil. It's like, what? Why is it? And then it's not near Coda or Miami or Vegas. It makes no sense.
Max was talking about this a while back, or like 2 weeks ago. He was like, why do we not just have it where it's like country by country, so it's not back and forth.
Yeah, the biggest argument against that is just having 3 American races in a row. I don't know what how the audience would do. Because I'm going to 2, but I wouldn't if they were a week apart.
That's fair.
So that's the biggest argument against it. However, this Canadian Grand Prix is just in the wrong spot. And they made it better with China and Japan kind of being in the same. So I don't know, man. And then they're going to go all the way back over there for Singapore. So it's and then Australia's carpet bombed in there. I don't know. They're like making it better by making it worse as it goes. Yeah. But then after this, it'll make sense for a while because we'll have that and Austria and all that stuff. So it'll make sense.
That's true.
So let's just get right into it. Who do you think is going to be on pole position for this race?
I think Max.
Yeah.
I think Max is going to be back after, I think,
essentially 3 tough races.
I think he's gonna wind it back in, or at least the car will. It's been a fluke to me, honestly.
Yeah.
This car should be
better than it is. So I agree with you, and I think in current form, Max is also going to get pole.
Yep.
I will say that this crash at the last race may have cost Red Bull later in the season. $2 to $3 million is a big chunk of a car to replace. Yeah. And they got to fly it to Canada. So that's quite it. They have 2 weeks, but I mean, that's quite the job.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard stint on those mechanics, dude.
I mean, they basically could have started building it during the race because I don't think any part of that car, maybe halo could be recovered. I don't know.
I don't think anything.
So yeah, I think Max is going to be on pole. How about you give me your podium?
It was hard to choose between Lando and Piastri.
Okay.
I think it's going to be one of the McLarens.
Okay.
P2 is going to be Leclerc.
Okay.
P1's Max.
Well, we have almost the same predictions.
Yeah.
I wrote Piastri because I am convinced we have turned the corner now and that the jokes are going to kind of go away, but I think Piastri is going to grow up. This is the beginning of Piastri growing past Lando.
Yeah.
Not every weekend. I don't know, man. He's just driving. He's quietly driving better than Lando right now.
That's why, like, Lando has breakout moments, whereas Piastri has a consistent track record.
Like, he'll probably be pretty good at this race. Yeah. He maybe will be pretty good in Barcelona, and then Austria is like Lando's best track. Yeah. I guess. I mean, if you win Miami, is that your best track? Anyway. Yes, I'm with Piastri. I also have Leclerc P2. Yeah. I think this is going to be reminiscent of an early 2022 race a little bit, but I think Max is going to destroy the competition. Yeah. So
I feel like this track layout is just kind of designed for what their car is spec toward.
I don't know because we haven't seen this Ferrari in this kind of track yet.
That's true.
So it's hard to say for sure.
I honestly it was a toss up for this podium. Like I could see Leclerc being podium, like P1 again. I could see like Piastri being P2 again. Like it's hard to decide right now, but like
if Leclerc somehow wins this race, the pandemonium is on.
Oh yeah.
Because
for sure.
I think you probably agree. I believe there's a constructor battle going on.
Yeah. I think there is.
Because, I mean, Checo, no fault of his own. I mean, he could have qualified better. We mentioned that in the last episode. You know, he didn't finish, and that hurts. Yeah. And there's a double podium for Ferrari. And if we get the Checo post-Miami that we got last year post-Miami that we're already getting,
we're already seeing
and
that,
if it's actually, and think about it this way, too. That wasn't a Checo mistake. So we haven't even used up a Checo mistake this year yet.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Hear me out. Speaking of Checo, I've got a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
That I've been on Twitter.
Oh, yes. Conspiracy theory.
I've been on Twitter, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this for a few weeks now. I think Checo is internally being sabotaged by his engineer.
Oh, yeah?
Because I've watched some of his onboards recently after watching this. His engineer doesn't speak to him.
At all?
Barely.
Huh. And Max engineer, GP never shuts up.
Yeah, I'm so serious. Like, Checo will ask a question and not hear anything for like 2 minutes. I think Checo's mentality is being flustered because he doesn't think his own race engineer wants him to win.
Okay. At first you sound a little crazy, but not getting an answer would get to me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture being in the car. That's a pretty good conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'm feeling like something bad's about to happen to him again. I don't know if it's going to be at this track specifically, but I just have this sinking feeling. I have a menace of the weekend for this one. I think it's going to be Lance Stroll, but not for the reason that he normally is a menace, because he'll just do that anyway. Yeah. He's going to be a menace because he's a Canadian.
Yep.
He's going to be a menace for not adopting Oscar Piastri for this race, so that way it cannot be Oscar's home race, and everybody's going to be upset. I mean, another prediction I would just throw out is just Aston having a bad weekend.
Yeah, I feel like that's guaranteed now, dude. So they're going so far backwards.
So I think Mercedes might have a better weekend at this race. Lewis has a really good track record, lots of podiums at this track. I'm not saying a podium. Obviously, I didn't predict it, but. Maybe if the right set of circumstances could happen, he might be able to squeeze out a P4 or 5, which is just, again, this is the world we live in now. The fact that I'm saying maybe Mercedes can squeeze a P5. Like, I would have thrown my headset over a
Take
P5
you back to
in 2020. Yeah. So, anyway, I think Mercedes is going to have a better weekend at this. Maybe beat a top competitor, beat one of the top 3 teams, one car. Well, I think that's about it. We're looking forward to it. So, come check us after the Canadian Grand Prix. Drop your predictions down below. Tell us what you think, who's going to be on the podium. And we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.